In 1936, a strange discovery was made near modern-day Baghdad in Iraq. This artifact was named the Baghdad Battery, and it sparked widespread debate regarding its purpose and origin. The discovery occurred during excavations of a village dating back to approximately the 3rd century before Christ, which means the object could be over 2,000 years old. The Baghdad Battery consists of a 13 centimeters tall clay jar containing a copper cylinder, inside which an iron rod is enclosed. The copper cylinder was sealed with lead and capped with a stopper, which also held the iron rod in place, preventing it from coming into contact with the copper. The absence of any inscriptions or textual records leaves the purpose of the object ultimately unclear. One of the most popular theories about the Baghdad Battery is as follows. When the vessel was filled with an acidic or alkaline substance, such as vinegar or lemon juice, it could generate a small electric voltage. This voltage might then have been used in a process called electroplating. Electroplating is a method of coating one metal with another using electricity. Supporters of this theory often point to metal artifacts from that period, such as gilded sculptures and jewelry, which could have been made using the battery. However, this interpretation is not universally accepted. Skeptics argue that there is no direct evidence linking the artifact to electroplating or any other use of electricity in ancient times. Alternative explanations have been proposed, including the idea that the battery was simply a vessel for storing sacred scrolls and had no connection to electricity. Despite various experiments by modern scientists demonstrating that devices like the Baghdad Battery can indeed generate an electric current, the true purpose of the original artifact remains a mystery. The debates surrounding the Baghdad Battery touch on broader topics in the study of ancient technologies. They raise questions about the extent of technological knowledge in ancient civilizations and the possibility that certain historical artifacts may represent lost or overlooked achievements. It is possible that hundreds or even thousands of years ago, people possessed knowledge far ahead of their time. In this video, we'll explore several more ancient objects, structures, and technologies that science still cannot fully explain. The Terracotta Army. In 1974, farmers in Shaanxi Province, China, unearthed something incredible underground. Thousands of life-sized clay soldier figures. Archaeologists dated the discovery to around the 200s BC. Later, researchers determined that this was part of an elaborately designed mausoleum intended to accompany the emperor into the afterlife. Qin Shi Huang ascended to the throne of the Qin state in 246 BCE and united several warring kingdoms into a single empire. His reign was marked by significant achievements in Chinese politics, economics, and culture. But Qin Shi Huang was also a tyrant obsessed with achieving immortality. To this end, he ordered the construction of a vast necropolis, complete with palaces, treasures, and an army to protect him in the afterlife. The creation of the Terracotta Army was a monumental undertaking that involved hundreds of thousands of workers and craftsmen over nearly 40 years. The soldiers were arranged in battle formation across 3 main pits. Each unit had a specific role in protecting the emperor from the spirits of those he had defeated during his lifetime. The figures depict not only infantry soldiers, but also archers, cavalrymen, and generals. Each warrior has a unique facial expression, suggesting that they may have been modeled after real soldiers of the Qin army. The craftsmanship of the Terracotta Army is astonishing, showcasing advanced technologies and artistic skills of the time. The soldiers were made from local clay, assembled in parts, and then fired in kills. After firing, they were painted with bright pigments, many traces of which have survived to this day. The weapons carried by the clay warriors were real and often coated with chromium oxide to prevent rusting, evidence of advanced metallurgical knowledge. The discovery of the Terracotta Army provided unprecedented new insights into the military and cultural world of ancient China. It revealed the immense power and resources commanded by Qin Shi Huang and offered a glimpse into the beliefs and practices surrounding death and the afterlife in ancient Chinese society. Since then, the site has become one of China's major tourist attractions and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Excavations and research continue to this day. In recent decades, figures of acrobats, musicians, and other professionals have been uncovered, suggesting that the necropolis was designed as a miniature version of the emperor's earthly domain. Roman dodecahedrons. These are mysterious artifacts from the ancient Roman Empire, whose purpose and function have puzzled archaeologists and historians for years. They are small hollow objects, usually made of bronze or stone, with a geometric shape consisting of 12 flat pentagonal faces. Each face has a circular hole of varying diameter. The dodecahedrons date back to the 2nd to 4th centuries and have been found scattered across regions that were once part of the Roman Empire, including areas of modern-day France, Switzerland, Germany, and other European countries. Despite their wide distribution and the relatively large number of specimens, no ancient Roman sources have been found that explain their purpose or how they were used. This uncertainty has given rise to a wide range of theories. Suggestions have ranged from practical objects, such as candle holders or flower stands, to more esoteric uses like instruments for astronomical calculations, religious artifacts, or devices for determining the optimal time to plant grain crops. Another theory proposes that dodecahedrons were used for military purposes, possibly as tools for calculating the range of ancient Roman artillery. The variety of hole sizes in the dodecahedrons has led some researchers to speculate that they were intended for measuring distances or the angle of sunlight throughout the year, essentially functioning as a kind of calendar. However, the lack of consistency in the size and placement of holes among different dodecahedrons undermines this theory. Moreover, the refined craftsmanship and decorative features of many dodecahedrons suggest a purpose that goes beyond that of a simple household tool. In any case, no single theory has gained universal acceptance, and Roman dodecahedrons remain a subject of ongoing debate. Phaistos Disc. In 1908, an Italian archaeologist discovered one of the most mysterious and debated artifacts of the ancient world. Found at the site of the Minoan Palace in Phaistos on the island of Crete, the disc is dated to around 1700 BC. The artifact is a fired clay disc about 15 centimeters in diameter. On both sides, symbols are impressed in a spiral pattern using preformed stamps. This use of movable type makes the disc a unique object among archaeological discoveries and suggests an advanced level of technology for its time. The Phaistos disc consists of various symbols, including depictions of people, animals, plants, and geometric shapes. These symbols are arranged into groups separated by vertical lines, which some scholars interpret as a form of punctuation or as markers dividing words or phrases. The exact meaning of the symbols remains a matter of debate, as scholars have yet to decipher their significance. The script of the Phaistos disc is unique and does not appear on any other known artifact. It may represent a religious text, a calendar, a game board, or something else entirely. The origin of the disc is as mysterious as its writing. The method used to create it, stamping symbols into soft clay, is also unique. Its discovery within a palace complex suggests that it may have held some importance for the Minoan elite, possibly for ritual purposes or as a symbol of power. However, without additional findings or textual evidence, the Phaistos disc remains shrouded in mystery. The Iron Pillar of Delhi. This monument has intrigued scholars and history enthusiasts around the world for centuries. As its name suggests, the artifact is located in India's capital, Delhi. The pillar dates back to the 4th century and is believed to have been erected during a period often referred to as the Golden Age of India. What sets the Iron Pillar apart is its remarkable resistance to corrosion. Despite being exposed to the harsh Indian climate for over 1,500 years, the metal has remained virtually unaffected. The pillar stands about 7 meters tall and has a diameter of around 50 centimeters. It is made of wrought iron and weighs over 6 tons. An inscription on the pillar indicates that it was erected in honor of one of India's kings. Scholars suggest that the secret of the pillar's durability lies in the composition of the iron and the conditions under which it was made. The iron used in the pillar contains a high level of phosphorus, which causes a thin protective layer to form on the surface, a layer that appears to have shielded it from decay. However, the exact technologies and environmental conditions involved in its production remain unknown to this day. The Uffington White Horse. This is an ancient figure located on the upper slopes of White Horse Hill in Oxfordshire, southern England. This prehistoric monument dates back to the late Bronze Age, around the 1000s BC. It is one of the oldest and most remarkable hill figures in Britain. The image represents a stylized horse, stretching over 100 meters in length, and was created as a deep trench filled with crushed white chalk. The Uffington White Horse is not the only hill figure in the UK, but it is unique in that it is composed of continuous lines, forming a complete image of a horse in motion. Scholars still debate the reasons for its creation and its original purpose. It may have held religious significance, with local people perhaps intending to send a message to those they believed were watching from above, the gods. However, this is just one of many theories. The exact purpose of the Uffington White Horse remains unknown to this day. The Antikythera Mechanism. This object is often referred to as the world's first analog computer. The discovery was made in 1901 when a diver came across an ancient sunken ship off the coast of the Greek island of Antikythera. The ship and its contents are dated to approximately the 1st or 2nd century BC. The Antikythera mechanism consisted of more than 30 bronze gears, originally housed in a wooden and bronze casing. It is believed that the device was used to predict astronomical events, such as eclipses, and to track the 4-year cycle of athletic games similar to the Olympics. The discovery of the device was revolutionary. It challenged previous assumptions about the technological capabilities of the ancient Greeks. Detailed studies, including X-rays and 3D scans, revealed inscriptions on the device that described the motions of celestial bodies, providing insight into how the mechanism was used. The Antikythera mechanism consisted of a series of highly precise gears. The central gear represented the calendar year, translating the complex motions of the moon and planets into a comprehensive understanding of time. The mechanism's ability to predict solar and lunar eclipses, as well as the positions of celestial bodies, stands as a testament to the astronomical knowledge and mechanical ingenuity of its creators. The origin and creator of the Antikythera mechanism remain subjects of debate. Some theories suggest that it was designed by the ancient Greek mathematician and engineer Archimedes, though there is no definitive evidence to support this. The level of craftsmanship and knowledge embedded in the device suggests it was made by a specialist or group of experts well-versed in both astronomy and engineering. Puma Punku. This ancient archaeological site is located in western Bolivia. Puma Punku translates to the door of the puma. The complex was built around the 6th century and continues to baffle historians due to the complexity and precision of its stonework. The site lies near the famous lake Titicaca. This region flourished roughly between the 4th and 10th centuries. The ruins of Puma Punku are renowned for their intricate stone construction, showcasing an astonishing level of craftsmanship for their time. The stones used in building the complex are made from incredibly hard rock types, and working them with such precision would have required advanced tools. However, there is no evidence that such ancient civilizations possessed this kind of technology. Some of the stones weigh over 100 tons, yet they were cut and aligned so precisely that they fit together perfectly, leaving virtually no gaps between them. This has led to numerous debates about the technologies and methods used by the ancient people. Moreover, there are no written records explaining how the site was constructed or what its original purpose was. Scholars believe it may have been a religious complex or held astronomical significance due to its precise alignment with celestial bodies. Theories about the construction of Puma Punku range from the use of advanced ancient technologies to extraterrestrial intervention, though the latter is generally viewed with skepticism by the scientific community. Most historians agree that the people living in the area achieved such results through a combination of ingenuity, knowledge of mathematics and astronomy, and the use of simple yet effective tools. Despite its ruined state, Puma Punku remains a testament to the architectural skill of an ancient civilization. Archaeological research at the site is ongoing, and it's possible that scientists will one day fully uncover the mystery of this remarkable place. The Dead Sea Scrolls. These ancient manuscripts were discovered in the mid-20th century in caves along the shores of the Dead Sea. The scrolls are approximately 2,000 years old. They contain text from the Bible, as well as documents describing the beliefs and laws of the ancient Jewish people. The initial discovery was made by a shepherd who stumbled upon jars containing the scrolls inside a cave. This find led to further excavations, uncovering a treasure trove of scrolls in nearby caves. The scrolls were written in Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek, and were composed on materials such as parchment, iris, and even bronze. The Dead Sea Scrolls hold immense historical, religious, and linguistic significance. They offer insights into the text of the Bible, deepening our understanding of the development of both Christianity and Judaism. Scholars have meticulously studied the scrolls to gather information about the religious beliefs, social life, and historical context of the people who created them. Documents indicate that this community led a monastic lifestyle with strict rules. The texts also suggest that these people lived in anticipation of the end of the world. The discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls sparked numerous debates. These debates concerned the time of the text's creation and their authorship. Today, the Dead Sea Scrolls are kept in the Jerusalem Museum. Damascus Steel. For many centuries, legends surrounded the steel from Damascus. The swords made from this material were incredibly strong, sharp, and could break the blades of their opponents in battle. As a result, the owner of a Damascus steel weapon became almost invincible. For a long time, even with modern technologies, scientists were unable to uncover the secret of Damascus steel. The raw material itself was sourced in India, then forged in the Middle East, and only afterwards sold in Damascus. This process continued for many centuries. In addition to its incredible strength and sharpness, Damascus swords were distinguished by a unique pattern on their surface, something resembling ripples. European warriors first encountered Damascus steel during the Crusades in the 11th century and were impressed by the sharpness and durability of the blades. But most importantly, no one could understand the secret of Damascus steel. No one in the world was able to recreate such weapons. There were many theories about it, some of them quite bizarre. Some suggested that the metal was first fed to chickens and then collected from their droppings. Another theory claimed that after forging, the sword was thrust into the body of a muscular slave so that his strength would be transferred to the metal. These wild theories emerged simply because even scientists could not understand how Damascus weapons were made. Gradually, as firearms became widespread, swords became less relevant, and the secret of making Damascus weapons was lost. Although blacksmiths managed to recreate the distinctive ripple pattern seen on Damascus blades, they were unable to achieve the same strength and sharpness. The secret of Damascus steel was rediscovered only by accident about 40 years ago. Scientists, while experimenting with the creation of ultra-strong and flexible metals, managed to reproduce the qualities of those legendary Damascus blades. However, they only succeeded by using the most advanced technologies to control temperature and chemical composition. Even today, it remains a mystery how Damascus swords could be forged 1,000 years ago without modern production methods. One theory claims that Damascus steel was tempered in dragon's blood. Of course, scientists are skeptical about this idea. But the author of the famous Game of Thrones series was inspired by the history of Damascus steel when he created the legendary Valyrian swords. The underground city of Derinkuyu. This site is located in the Cappadocia region of central Turkey. Derinkuyu is an extensive underground network capable of housing thousands of inhabitants. It descends about 60 meters underground and consists of 8 levels. The history of Derinkuyu dates back to the 8th century BC. It was likely created by the Phrygians, an ancient people who lived in the area at that time. The primary function of the underground city was protection from frequent invasions and natural disasters. Over time, it became a refuge for early Christians fleeing Roman persecution during the 2nd to 4th centuries. These early inhabitants expanded the city, building additional living quarters, communal areas, churches, and storage facilities. What makes Derinkuyu remarkable is not only its size, but also the complex level of organization evident in its design. The city included everything a community would need to survive underground for extended periods. Ventilation shafts to ensure air circulation, wells to provide water, and massive stone doors that could be closed for protection. The city's infrastructure also featured sophisticated methods of waste disposal and food storage, indicating a high level of planning. Why Derinkuyu was eventually abandoned remains unclear. It was forgotten for many centuries until it was rediscovered in the mid-20th century by a local resident, completely by accident. Since then, Derinkuyu has become a significant archaeological site. The Lycurgus Cup. This Roman cup is 1,600 years old and is housed in the British Museum. It is known as the Lycurgus Cup, named after the scene depicted on it involving King Lycurgus of Thrace. When illuminated from the front, the glass appears green. But when light shines through it from behind, the cup turns a vivid red. This astonishing property baffled scientists for many decades after the artifact came into their hands about 70 years ago. The mystery was only recently solved. British researchers examined fragments of the cup under a microscope and discovered that Roman craftsmen were pioneers of nanotechnology. Over 1,500 years ago, they managed to infuse the glass with tiny particles of silver and gold, ground down to an incredibly small size, about 1,000th the size of a grain of salt. This level of precision suggests that the Romans had a surprisingly deep understanding of what they were doing. The working principle behind this nanotechnology is as follows. When light hits the cup, the electrons in the metallic particles interact in such a way that the color of the object changes depending on the observer's position. Researchers believe the cup may have also changed color depending on the type of liquid poured into it. Just imagine the effect this must have had on people at the time. But what's even more fascinating is that this ancient technology could be used by modern scientists in the future to develop highly sensitive sensors, ones capable of detecting dangerous diseases at their earliest stages or identifying criminals transporting illegal substances. How the Romans achieved this, however, remains a mystery. The Pyramid of Khufu. Another name for this monument is the Great Pyramid of Giza. It is the only one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world that has survived to this day. Originally, the pyramid was built as a tomb for Pharaoh Khufu, who ruled in the middle of the 3rd millennium BC. The structure is part of a larger complex that includes 2 other large pyramids, several smaller ones, and the Great Sphinx. The Pyramid of Khufu originally looked very different. It was white. It was covered with smooth white limestone that reflected sunlight, giving the pyramid a dazzling brilliance. Today, most of the casing stones have been removed, but the core structure has remained intact. The Great Pyramid was the tallest man-made structure in the world for nearly 4,000 years. Its original height was nearly 150 meters. According to historians, the pyramid took about 20 years to build and required the labor of thousands of workers. Contrary to popular myth, these were not slaves, but paid laborers who worked in shifts and received wages. One of the main mysteries of the Pyramid of Khufu is the technique used in its construction. The pyramid is made up of around 2 million stone blocks, each weighing an average of 2.5 tons, some even much more. Scientists still do not fully understand how the ancient Egyptians managed to move such massive stones. The most widely accepted theory suggests that the builders used ramps and levers to transport them. Sacsayhuaman. Sacsayhuaman is an impressive fortress complex located in Peru. Its exact origins remain a mystery, though it is most likely that the complex was built during the reign of the Inca Empire in the 15th to 16th centuries. The fortress is famous for its massive limestone boulders, some of which weigh over 100 tons. The stones were masterfully carved and fitted together without the use of mortar. This design gave the structure remarkable stability. Thousands of laborers took part in the construction of Sacsayhuaman. The precise techniques used to transport and fit these enormous stones are still debated. Most likely, as with the Pyramid of Khufu, workers used ramps, levers, and possibly wooden rollers. All of this points to the Incas' advanced knowledge of engineering and construction. The complex consists of 3 main terraces stretching more than 600 meters, strategically designed for defense. In addition to its military function, Sacsayhuaman played a vital role in the religious and ceremonial life of the Inca Empire. It was a key site for rituals. The arrival of Spanish conquistadors in the 16th century led to the looting and partial destruction of Sacsayhuaman. Despite this, the core of the fortress has remained intact, further proving the high level of Inca construction techniques. Greek fire. Greek fire was a secret weapon of the Byzantine Empire that still inspires numerous theories, even though more than 1,000 years have passed. It was a devastating weapon used by the Byzantines against their enemies, particularly in naval battles. This was because it was so flammable that it couldn't be extinguished with water. In fact, there are accounts suggesting that contact with water made the flames even more intense. What was truly astonishing about Greek fire was that even when enemy forces captured the flammable substance, they were never able to recreate it. They also failed to replicate the weapon used to deploy it. That's not surprising, because to this day, no one knows for certain what ingredients were used in the incendiary mixture. Greek fire was invented in the 7th century by a Byzantine engineer named Kallinikos. It's believed that he experimented with various materials until he discovered the perfect flammable formula. He then sent the recipe to the Byzantine emperor, who ordered the creation of a weapon based on it. This resulted in the development of the siphon, an early flamethrower that unleashed the deadly fire upon enemy ships. Greek fire also had a powerful psychological effect on the enemy. It produced a loud roar and thick smoke, resembling the breath of a dragon. Because the weapon was so effective in battle, the formula was kept under strict secrecy by the Byzantines. Later, a modified version of the weapon was developed in the form of hand grenades. Although many of their enemies tried to recreate the secret of Greek fire, none succeeded. To this day, the exact formula of this incendiary substance remains unknown. There are various theories about the technology and ingredients involved, but researchers have yet to find a definitive answer. The Saqqara Bird. This is a fascinating artifact, dated to around 200 BC. It was discovered in the late 19th century during the excavation of a tomb in the Egyptian settlement of Saqqara. This small wooden object sparked significant interest and debate among historians and scholars. The artifact measures about 20 centimeters in length and resembles a bird. The most common interpretation is that it represents a falcon. The main mystery of the Saqqara Bird lies in its design. One theory suggests that the figurine reflects an ancient Egyptian understanding of aerodynamics and may have even been a model of an early glider or aircraft. However, most Egyptologists believe that the Saqqara Bird was a ceremonial object or possibly even a toy. Artistic representations of falcons were quite common in ancient Egypt. These birds were associated with the sky god, one of the most important deities in the Egyptian pantheon. At the same time, the unusual tail design of the bird cannot be ignored. Its tail is vertical, which is extremely unusual for depictions of birds. At the same time, this design is quite natural for flying machines, such as airplanes. This detail has led to speculation that the ancient Egyptians may have experimented with flight or early concepts of flying devices. However, there is currently no concrete evidence that the Saqqara Bird was intended as a functional flying apparatus, or that the ancient Egyptians possessed advanced knowledge of aerodynamics. One way or another, scientific studies of the Saqqara Bird have yet to provide a definitive explanation of its purpose or the intentions of its creators. Gobekli Tepe. This prehistoric site is located in southeastern Turkey. Its discovery revolutionized scholars' understanding of ancient human societies. Gobekli Tepe dates back to the 10th millennium BC, making it 6,000 years older than Stonehenge. It was built at the very end of the last ice age, during a time when humans were just beginning the transition from nomadic hunter-gatherers to settled agricultural communities. Gobekli Tepe consists of several large circular stone structures, adorned with intricate carvings of animals, abstract symbols, and humanoid figures. The discovery of this site challenged traditional views of the Neolithic Revolution, the period during which humans first developed agriculture and permanent settlements. Before its discovery, it was believed that the construction of monumental religious structures only took place in well-established, complex societies with advanced agriculture. However, the construction of Gobekli Tepe suggests that sophisticated building projects were possible much earlier in human history. The purpose of this site remains a topic of debate. The intricate carvings and monumental architecture suggest that Gobekli Tepe held significant spiritual or ceremonial importance for its builders. Its construction required a level of social organization and cooperation that was previously thought to be beyond the capabilities of people at that time. Excavations and research at Gobekli Tepe are still ongoing, so more discoveries are likely in the future. If you found this video interesting, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and, of course, leave your comments below.